What's up, guys? This is Brave, and I'm back with another review of Growing Up Hip Hop LA. This is season 6, episode 2, and let's go ahead and talk about it. Okay, so you already know that we're going to pick up right where we left off, and that was at Pep's party. So Pep comes downstairs, and she's like, "What's going on? Why all the sad faces?" or whatever. And of course, we already know it's because JoJo left. Him and Tanise, they were done after that conversation with Sam. And Tyran magically pops up. I was wondering where he was, because you already know he's always missing in action. So Tyran is talking to Pep, and he's talking about how, I heard there was some commotion, but I didn't think it was anything, big or anything that I need to come downstairs for. So she's like, well, this is my party, and in her confessional, she's like, if you come after Egypt or Sam or Tyran, then you got to come see me and all this stuff. I'm like, Pep, why are you trying to get all big and bad? Why are you even having a party with all these kids? And keep in mind, these people are like 25 plus, okay? But her age bracket is senior citizen. Her age bracket gets AARP in the mail. I don't understand why she out here partying with these kids, but I digress. So the only other thing that I want to mention about this party is the fact that I hated seeing Sam stand on top of that staircase as if he was really running something, first of all. Secondly, when they were singing Happy Birthday, why was Egypt out here trying to flex vocals like if she really singing like that? Like, sis, you're not Brandy. You're not her. You're not Tiana Taylor. You're not a real singer. Stop playing these games, Egypt. Remember, you gave up your career and let Sam take up all your studio time. Yeah, let's talk about that. All right, so enough of that party. Let's go ahead and talk about TT, because we go back to her in New York. It's just a continuation of what we saw last episode, which is her shopping for her wedding dress. So we do see that Sean, I think it's her man's name. Is it Sean? Yeah. So Sean's family comes in, her sister-in-law, his mom, to join her mom and her sister. I think one of her friends came in so that way they could see her try on these dresses. So her mom ended up picking a really pretty dress on her. We got a bunch of slow-mo shots and close-up shots of TT in her wedding dress options. And I'm going to say, TT is so pretty. I feel like when we first were introduced to her, she was looking real rough. And I think it was because of those bad hairstyles. But TT is very pretty. She looked beautiful in both of the dresses. And I don't think that they've gotten married just yet, but I'm pretty sure whatever dress that TT wears, she's going to look beautiful. However, her sister ended up asking her, who's going to get married first? Is it going to be you or Egypt? And as we know, TT has not talked to Egypt. She has not talked to Pep. She even has a little moment where she starts to cry about that a little bit, just because she was so close to them. But at the end of the day, sometimes families, they do break apart, and you're not going to always see eye to eye. And when you have somebody like Sam around, yeah, it's best for her to break away from that entire situation. Honestly, if it was me, I would be done with Pep and Egypt, especially considering TT just had her first baby, and they did not reach out to her at all. So no, forget Pep and Egypt. All right, so now we got a scene of Twist getting a text from Peppa, and she wants to meet up with him because she heard that he was out in Vegas, and of course he didn't show up to her little party. So he's like, what does she want to talk to me about? I'm pretty sure it's about the whole Sam situation. Of course that's what it was going to be about. And everybody was like, yeah, that's probably what it is. And I feel like going into this, he knew that he needed to be, still respectful of Peppa, but at the same time, it's like, again, Peppa, why are you involving yourself in these kids' business? And they're not kids, but these young adults' business. Like, go hang out with your people at the senior citizen home. Why are you all in these kids' business? All right, y'all, so here comes Angela, and now she got this new man, Daniel, and here's the thing. I just feel like we saw way too much of him this whole episode. But, you know, it is what it is. I guess she's happy that she has a man now. So they're sitting on the couch or whatever with matching outfits on. And she's talking about how, oh, you know, when's your next fight and all this stuff. And he's like, oh, you know, I think I'm going to have a fight down in Florida or whatever. And now baby girl thinking about moving there. I'm like, wait, all because he going to have a fight down there? Now you want to just go ahead and take the jump and move to Miami or somewhere in Florida? Okay, Angela. Just make sure you do what's best for your child. Let's not forget about SJ. So she did mention that he has already met her son. One thing that I will say is that he's not an ugly guy from the side profile. From the, you know, facing forward, he's real old in the face. But from the side profile, I get it. So let's move on to the next scene. Alright, so we actually see Tyran go see his dad, Tretch, right? So they're just having, you know, a little conversation about how Tyran, he's still doing his, his Muay Thai boxing or whatever martial arts things that he's doing. He's still doing his school or whatever. And Tretch, he's been very supportive of that, and I'm glad that he does still support Tyran. So here's where this conversation went left for me. So he's asking about, you know, what happened at the party or whatever. And when Tyran mentions that JoJo and Sam got into it, Tretch went into this whole thing about like losing Pac and Big and all this other like things as if death was about to be the answer. They was really about to be about that life. And I'm like, sir, stop acting like as if this is 1995, first of all. Then when he was like, yeah, because like half my body is covered with people who died over beef or something like that. I said, sir, again, what year are we in and who are we talking about? JoJo Simmons and Sam No Name? Sir, their beef is not going to get that deep. I mean, I feel like it may get a little hot with a little twist, but it is not going to get hot with JoJo and Sam. Stop playing. Also, side note, what the hell was Tretch wearing in that confessional look? Like, what was that? Somebody please get him a stylist. And also the fact that Tyran was like, you know, Sam, he is a good guy. And I'm like, in what way? For your sister or what? Because I don't think Sam's a good person at all. Alright, so then you get a quick scene of TT and Vanessa catching up because, you know, they're really good friends. TT is just talking about her being a new mom, and Vanessa is talking about how, you know, she's going to do this photo shoot with Angela. And then that leads to the conversation of, oh, have you met Angela's new boyfriend? She's been posting him all on social media. And Vanessa is like, nope, I haven't met him. Everybody else in the family has met him but me. So then you have TT, she about to go ahead and Google the man. I'm like, okay, that would definitely be me. But yeah, that was pretty much that whole conversation. Like, nothing really happened in that scene. Alright, so then we get to this photo shoot that Angela and Vanessa are having. And, okay, so here's my thing. Angela just had shot a scene with her boyfriend and was like, oh yeah, I think I'm going to move to Miami. Next thing you know, here we go. She's like, all right, I made my decision. I moved to Miami. I'm like, okay, I absolutely understand why Vanessa said that Angela moves very quickly once she's actually in a relationship. So they're having a conversation or whatever. And she's just like, you know, oh, I haven't met Daniel. You know, when am I going to be able to meet him? Am I going to be able to go to like one of his fights or something? And because of COVID, of course, Vanessa will not be able to attend any fights. But it honestly didn't seem like Angela wanted Vanessa to meet him. Like, it's like she could meet him or whatever, but there was no rush for Vanessa to meet Daniel, and I feel like Vanessa felt that. So all I want to say is that photo shoot, oh my gosh, both of them looked really, really good. Vanessa definitely looked super great considering last season she was feeling so insecure about her body. Listen, she has lost that weight and she looks amazing. What's so funny to me is that in the confessional to me, Vanessa, okay, don't take this out of context, but whenever I see Vanessa, I think of Alexis Sky and what Alexis Sky could look like if she stopped messing around with her face and her body. Just throwing that out there. But let me go ahead and talk about the next scene or whatever. Alright, so we see Brianna's cute self go over to TT's Airbnb. I don't believe that was TT's house. Just because of the way it was furnished, there's no way that was TT's house at all. I feel like she has a lot better taste than that. I did crack up when Bri was knocking on the door and TT started looking out that window. Oh my gosh, I thought that was so funny. So, Bri comes over, they have wine and cheese, and they're just talking about basically TT's life, honestly. I feel like Brianna didn't really open up much about herself. So we did get to hear TT talk about her experience being a new mom, and then she actually brought out her little baby, and he is so cute. Oh my gosh, he does look like TT, but he's just like the cutest little thing. I'm like, oh my gosh, TT's really a mom. So, she talks about being a mom, and then of course we have to talk about, the wedding that's coming up. And what does she want to do about this wedding? Where she wants to have it. And of course, she's having it in Jamaica. And like Brianna said, that's expensive. Jamaica ain't never been cheap. But, that's where she grew up. That's where she's from. So it makes sense for her to want to have her wedding there. There was a little bit of talk about, Peppa and Egypt. And I don't even want to talk about them because the way that they did not support TT when you knew that this girl was having her first child, that just rubs me the wrong way. So we next get a quick scene of Angela. She is at her apartment in Miami, and I must say her view is amazing. Like, her view is beautiful. And she's talking to her mom. And basically the whole point of this conversation was her mom telling her to slow down and not rush things with her new boyfriend. That was pretty much the gist of the conversation. I find it interesting that multiple people in Angela's family feel like she's just rushing things with this guy, or it's just that they're not privy to the information about, what's happening with their relationship. But, I think that her mom and Vanessa definitely know best, and Angela might want to slow down. All right, y'all. So we finally get to this meetup with Pep and Twist. Okay, first of all, why did Pep not know what she was going to say? Like, girl, you called him here. He didn't call you here. How do you not know what you want to talk about? So, of course, she's like, every time you bring up Sam, it's all this negative stuff or whatever. So, Twist, he equates everything to Sam wearing a thong. I don't see Sam wearing a thong. Blah, 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 blah. Sam in his underwear. So, at this point, this is where Peppa is going to try to flip this and be like, oh, Twist is a little homophobic because only thing he's worried about is Sam and his sexuality and what Sam is wearing. But honestly, I feel like Twist, he was just like gaslighting her. Like the whole time, I'm like, you don't see that he don't want to be here and have this conversation with you? Like, that's the vibe that I got. I feel like Twist just kept saying the same thing over and over again because he didn't want to be there. He didn't want to have this conversation. And he knew it was a waste of time talking to Pep. So I feel like he was just like, all right, I'm just going to run with saying, oh, yeah, I don't like Sam because he wear women's underwear. Like, that was pretty much it. Honestly, I wish that Peppa would just mind her business. I think she really needs to get out of her children's business. I mean, come on, girl. You out here supporting him doing OnlyFans, but then you trying to give an attitude because someone's giving him a side eye. Girl, find you something else to do. Because let's be honest, that is not the reason why Twist does not like Sam. Twist does not like Sam because Twist don't like the way Sam moves. He knows that, Sam is letting this whole I'm a part of hip-hop royalty get to his head. Like, everybody can see it. Like, everyone can see that When Sam, he even talks about how, because I'm a part of the Salt and Pepper dynasty and a part of Naughty by Nature. I said, sir, bring it some dials back. You're not even married to Egypt, first of all. Secondly, y'all are still leeching off of Pep. And thirdly, no, you're not hip-hop royalty. Hell, if we really want to be honest, neither is Egypt. Neither is Tehran. Because when you really think about it, if you are not actually putting forth any effort to, let your family have a legacy or a name, I would not consider you to be some type of hip-hop royalty, whatever that means. Because when I think of, kids that are, doing their own thing and their parents just happen to be in the industry, I understand, Angela, Vanessa. I would not consider JoJo, technically. I would say Diggy Simmons. I would probably say, even though it's not exactly hip-hop, but, Ming Lee and Aoki, they cousins, because they're doing the fashion thing, what their mom did. You have to put forth the effort. What effort has Egypt ever had to put in? Or Tehran? They just happen to be some kids of somebody who's famous. Let's be honest here. I mean, even Diddy's kids, they trying to be whatever that they're doing, even though most of it is on Diddy's platforms, but at least they trying. I don't see Egypt trying anything. And also, I feel bad because I just kind of dragged Tehran into this, but I like Tehran. And on that note, that wraps up my review of this show. This episode, honestly, it was a bit dry for me. Hopefully, it heats back up next episode. Let me know what you guys thought about the episode. So go ahead and comment, subscribe to my channel, and I will talk to you guys in the next one. Bye, guys.